We're now with the Metro Action Commission. Cynthia, if you could introduce yourself and your colleagues and then tell us how your year's been and make a presentation about your budget.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. It's my privilege to introduce the members of our team that are with us today. To my left is our Chief Financial Officer, Tyranda Burgess. A number of our leadership team members are here with us also. Just joining us is our board chair, Dr. Lavinia Steele. And then also in the room is Marvin Cox, Lisa McCready, Cassandra Johnson-Payne, Karen Crook, Camille Baker, and Pamela Matthews. It's our pleasure always to come before you to talk to you about our budget. Each year that we come, Mayor, we're asked about the Head Start cookies, and I wanted you to know this year that we did not come in empty-handed. We have brought cookies first for you, which I'll sit here, and of course for Greg. We also brought
somewhat a smaller portion.
Yes,
I would
yes,
assume.
for much smaller. And then we have this other basket that could be for Rich. Totally dependent on how this conversation goes today.
It looks like I will just steal Mr. Hynell.
Oh,
okay.
We'll see what
rather than committing on the other front.
We'll see what we can work out. I think it is. I think so. Let me just share a little bit with you, Mayor, about how our year has been. We think it's been a great year, given how we were anticipating the year starting. As you know, we anticipated pretty substantial cuts on the federal side that we're happy to say did not happen. As a result of that, we were able to continue to serve large numbers of residents of our community, specifically as it relates to the Community Services Division. We were still able to serve over 16,000 individuals with energy assistance in our county. We were worried that that number would be substantially decreased, but it turns out that things worked out well. In addition to that, we've worked on trying to expand the access to food for children over the summer, and your office has worked with us on that, and we're pleased to report that project that we did with Valley Brook and several that we're looking at going forward to get food to additional children. We were successful in having that happen. Our Head Start facilities remain 3-star facilities. All of them have a 3-star quality rating, which we know is extremely important. In addition to that, we've had several accomplishments as it relates to the Early Head Start program and the Head Start program relative to children with disabilities who receive services that might not otherwise been available to them without that funding. We're happy to also report that we are the first Head Start Gold Sneaker program in the state, and that program is affiliated with the Health Department, and it's directly attributed to the amount of activities that we do with children around keeping them healthy. And so we're excited to be able to share that with you as well. That concludes our sort of updates about how our year has gone, and if there are no questions about that, I'll move on into some of the budget pieces.
Okay.
As it relates to our budget, I think you've heard a number of the programs that are largely grant funded talk about that at this point we're going into the year with a status quo budget because once again, as you've heard, we just don't know what's going to happen at the federal level. Once again, however, the President has proposed some pretty significant cuts to the Community Services Block Grant Program, specifically a 50% reduction, same that was proposed last year. And we're seeing proposals for cuts in the LAHEAP program as well, which is our energy assistance program. And so because we don't know how these things will work out, we've submitted a status quo budget, but we have plans in place so that if we come in at a lower rate, we will be prepared to take action accordingly. We are also continuing to be, as you know, largely federally funded. We're at about 83% federally funded. We have some state funding as well as funding that we receive from parents who are paying for before and after care services. The Metro subsidy amount to our agency is about 14% of our budget. Which is an important subsidy because in large part it's used for enhancement of our staff salaries as well as to assist with benefits for our team. A portion of those dollars are also used, however, for direct services to customers to assist them with rent, mortgage, and tax assistance for our senior citizens. So those are the main portions that make up the Metropolitan Action Commission budget, which is about $24 million. The largest of that, of course, is Head Start, with over $10 million in federal dollars that we receive for that program.
Okay. Is there anything, can you talk about what's going on with your buildings?
I can, and thank you for that. We're excited, of course. Last year, this time, we were anticipating moving into our new location, and we are there and very happy to be there. The other project that we're moving forward on is our kitchen project and the rebuild of the Douglas Head Start Center that, as you know, was destroyed during the flood. And we are in the process now of reviewing the architectural drawings that have been sent forth so that an architect can be selected. So that's where we are in that process. Those two facilities, the kitchen and the Douglas facility, are being built together, and so this is one project. In the Capitol, of course, we've requested additional fundings for the north location, that we would have a new north facility built, as well as the Richland location. But the progress on the kitchen and on the Douglas facility is moving forward.
Right. It's just at your new offices, which were very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and I think what you mentioned at the beginning about encouraging people, nonprofits and others, providers, to, if they have questions, to reach out to social services, to my office too. Well, one of the things we really want to see us continue to improve on, we began it last summer, is making sure the kids are getting fed during the summer. You know, we take for granted during the school year that we have 75 to 80% of our students in public schools on free and reduced lunch, and then in the summers there's an issue about whether children are getting the food they need. So there are programs in the city that that offer food and lunches, and if students aren't even enrolled in the program and they're in that area, they're eligible to participate in those programs. And we want people to be as aware of that as they can be and take advantage of it, because that's obviously just important that kids have balanced meals.
Mayor, if I could mention one other thing as it relates to the budget. You will note, if it's okay to talk about that at this time, that we did request a budget enhancement. Our organization, as I mentioned, is largely federally funded, with the largest portion of our agency being Head Start. Head Start has about 267 staff. One of the areas that we expressed concern about last year when we came before you, and that we continue to work on this year with the Office of Management and Budget, is the increased cost to benefits and pension cost, that even if we applied all of those costs to the grant, it actually exceeds the total amount of the grant. And so we're once again coming before you, and we will be looking to make this presentation. Our board is certainly aware as well that the city looked with us at the increasing cost of health care benefits that the grants are simply not able to absorb in their entirety. As you are aware, the grants pay a large portion of the fringe and the salary portions for the staff in the Head Start program. However, the grant, even as it stands, is not able to absorb all of those costs. And so we wanted to make sure we brought that before you again for this body to also consider.
Okay, thank you. Rich, got any? Greg? Well, thanks for doing a great job.